are the New York Knicks. I'm back, rocking in New York. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 538, part of Dash Radio. You can email us at nyknickspodcast@gmail.com, and you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/nyknickspodcast. Everything's NY Knicks Podcast. That's our Twitter. That's our Instagram. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
I am good. So I want to talk about trade.
Mm-hmm. A potential trade? I don't think there's been any real trades.
Well, wasn't there a real trade? Wasn't there a a trade that already happened?
Agreed to terms.
Horford got traded.
Agreed to terms. Yes.
Okay. Agreed to terms. It'll happen. They don't agree to terms and have it not happen.
Have you never
joined the Bucks?
Have you never DeAndre Jordan'd?
Yes, that is true. Also. So in this trade, I think I have the terms. Do you want to hear the trade?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, it actually already happened.
Okay.
And you tell me you think it was a good deal or not.
Okay.
Okay, OKC got it looks like they got a first rounder, George Hill, a couple of players I've never heard of. The Nuggets got RJ Hampton and the 24th overall pick via Milwaukee. Pelicans got Steve Adams, Eric Bledsoe, 2 future first round picks via Milwaukee, and a right to 2 additional first round picks, pick swaps via Milwaukee. So Milwaukee gave up, it looks like 3 first round picks and 2 pick swaps. So they must have killed it, right?
Yeah, this is what happened like a year ago, right?
Right. So here's what the Bucks got. They got 4 for 14 from the field, 0 from 4 from 3-point land, and basically a non-factor in the finals.
That defense, though.
Bad defense, though. Drew Holiday, the Bucks went all in to get this last piece of the puzzle, and goddamn it, he's not that good. And you know who else could have gone 4 for 14 and did almost nothing in the finals? Eric Bledsoe.
I don't know. I mean, let's not overreact to one game.
No, that's what we're supposed to do. We're recording the show. They played last night. We're going to overreact. Has Drew Holiday been all that good in the playoffs? He's been all right.
Yeah, he's had flashes. He had 2 good games against the Hawks. But he was pretty mediocre until that Hawks series.
He was pretty mediocre. He looked better when Giannis wasn't on the floor, when he was injured.
Going back to Giannis, how is he not out for another 9 months?
Hang on. Can we finish Drew Holiday first?
Sure.
Because I think he's already kind of finished himself. Do you expect, like, you go all in?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you expect a little better of a performance? You gave up 3 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps on top of that, and the guy does not. I mean, it's been one game, but it's been a large enough sample of the playoffs. He hasn't been that great. I know that the defense, who's he been stopping? Chris Paul went crazy on their ass. Lots of other players have played pretty well on them. I mean, Drew Holiday's a solid defender. I'm just saying, you think the Bucks screwed up with all these picks to get him?
They're in the finals, so no.
Okay, that's totally fair.
They weren't in the finals without him. They're in the finals with him. So I'm going to say still a good move, but...
Are we assuming Drew Holiday injured James Harden and injured Kyrie? Is that what you're saying?
Are you saying they wouldn't have won if those guys were healthy?
Yeah. Anyway, the Bucks really need a greater effort from Drew Holiday going forward if they're going to win this series. And he was not very good in game one.
Yeah, they're going to need more offensively from him. If they could get Shaquille Lopez like they did in the Atlanta series, that would be nice too.
Yeah, it's also like the Bucks, like what the guys they put. It's amazing how far they've made with no shooting. Like Drew Holiday's been all right. PJ Tucker plays major minutes every night. He can't score.
Yeah, and Iman just said Middleton was also terrible. They need at least 2 out of 3 of Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday to go off to have a prayer in this series.
So Giannis. Let's go back to Giannis. Giannis had a major injury. You or I would probably would basically barely walk again, and he's playing like a week and a half later.
It's amazing.
A week later.
It was almost a 45-degree hyperextension. And yeah, you're right. I would probably be walking funny for literally years if that happened to me. It's amazing that he's playing.
I guess in the broadcast they were like, well, he keeps himself in so good shape. He preconditions himself so he heals faster. I'm like, the Flash heals faster. He's still goddamn human. What the hell are these doctors doing that they don't do for me? I go to the doctor, they're like, yeah, now you limp. But I don't want to limp. He's like, well, you could go to PT and maybe one day you'll walk again normal. These guys are, how are they? What kind of medical science is going into the NBA that's not going into like the rest of us?
I got a really bad ankle sprain playing basketball about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
My ankle was messed up for about 5 or 6 months. Like, no joke. I don't know how they do it. And you can't predisposition your body to be prepared for a 45-degree hyperextension in your knee. That's just not how the body works.
Right.
By the way, does the Flash heal quickly, or is that just... Were you just making that up?
No, my kids and I have been watching The Flash. It was on CW. We just finished season 3. It's on Netflix if anyone wants to watch. It is a great show to watch with your family.
Okay, look at you throwing out that comic book knowledge.
Yeah. It's The Flash heals faster. That's one of his powers. The only thing about the show is Flash's love interest is his adopted sister, which is a little weird. Beyond that, it's a great show.
Okay. That's out of my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about The Flash.
Ah, okay. Well, look at me knowing some comic book stuff that you do not know. You should check it out. They have like a whole multiverse there's Green Arrow, there's Flash, there's Supergirl, which we just started watching with my daughter, and there's some other hero shows also. I forget. They have a couple other titles. But I recommend checking out The Flash if you I don't know. I don't know if I'd watch just as an adult, but if you had kids with you watching, it's a solid one.
All right. When I'm done with all 400 episodes of The Blacklist, I'll consider it.
Okay. I guess is that your recommendation of the week, The Blacklist?
Blacklist is one of my favorite shows. It's amazing. Yeah.
Can you please just be a little more PC and call it the African American list?
The I don't see any colors list.
Yeah, I would just call it the list, I guess, but I guess I'm not like you, Jack.
I don't even know what color it is because I don't see them. Grandpa Mark talking comics.
It'd be great if you just start a campaign against them and you're just writing them incessantly could you please take that offensive word? I do not want to hear about the color of the show.
Iman said he's jealous that the Knicks didn't trade for Paul. Most likely wouldn't go to the finals, but would help young guys like RJIQ get better. So that brings me to what I want to talk about as far as Knicks related before we go back to the finals.
Okay. By the way, Chris Paul, they've talked about him getting young players better. In particular, they keep talking about DeAndre Ayton makes a point that Chris Paul has been screaming at him all season and has made him a better player.
Yeah.
And Ayton has looked awesome.
Yes. Yes. So they built a contender. They got a lot of young pieces. and then they signed or traded for a vet that was the final piece and put it all together.
Right.
But if you notice, they did not trade Ayton and Bridges in change for Paul for the final piece.
Right.
Right. So everyone's saying the Knicks should trade for Damian Lillard, which, yeah, he would be great. But they want to throw in RJ and Mitch and everybody. And it's like, but that's not how you build a contender, because then you just have Portland East. You need to keep the young core or it doesn't do anything.
You understand the Knicks. I mean, I don't know, whatever you think of Leon Rose, he's not the drunken sailor that is Knicks Twitter.
Right. I'm just saying, people are like, you just have to like trade the whole farm for Lillard. And it's like, but that's not a winning team. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, of course not. And it obviously didn't work with Melo, and obviously trading the farm for or whatever you have for Lillard would make the Knicks like a worse team around him than the year he has in Portland. But why does Knicks Twitter do this all the time? There is no indication that Lillard is actually on the trade block. I know there's some he didn't have to say in the new coach or whatever it is. That's a long way from him being on the trade block. And there'd be other teams that also could trade for him. It's not just like, well, Nick's best offer, we have to say yes. Everything about like the way things are discussed on Twitter are insane. They're just like, so-and-so didn't seem so happy. He was frowning today. So here's how the Knicks will trade for him.
It was funny because during the playoffs, anytime a team got eliminated, that best player was instantly rumored to go to the Knicks.
Right.
It's like...
Well, the theory, and we talked about this on the show before, if Phoenix had lost to the Lakers in the first round, the theory was that Chris Paul would opt out, which he may do anyway, and that he'd go, Leon Rose's former agent, he'd go to the Knicks, and the Knicks would give him like a 3-year major deal. Now, Phoenix is in the finals. They may win the finals. Chances are, if Chris Paul opts out, he's still re-signing with Phoenix. I know they're known to be cheap as an organization, but there's no way Chris Paul is leaving. There's no way they're not paying Chris Paul. He's staying there.
Yeah, also, I would have so much trouble rooting for Chris Paul.
You know, you say that, and I know you have issues with Chris Paul, but he's kind of awesome. Like, he flops and everything else, but he's also kind of awesome.
He's great. Like, it's not like I'm saying he's not good. It's just all the flopping and the dirty, I don't know. I can't root for a flopper.
To live. He's not James Harden. You learn to live with it.
He's
Chris
close.
Paul is a fantastic player. He is. I mean, he's doing what you're supposed to do on this team, saying, we are going to win these games. Like he did it against the in the last series. He was at the end. He's just like, I am not losing. He had an insane game to close out that series.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's been goddamn awesome in the playoffs. He has been the opposite of Drew Holiday.
Yes. I cannot wait for the new rules next season.
They're going to disappoint. So Jay is talking about is that the idea is that the NBA is going to look at people trying to flop and basically draw contact and not necessarily call that a foul. Whatever the rule changes are going to be, they're going to be disappointing.
You don't think it's gonna be a good thing? You don't think it's?
I don't think it's gonna make the change you expect it to. It's gonna still be a lot of bullshit fouls that they're not gonna. I don't know. Every time also the NBA is like, we're really gonna look into stuff. You know, when guys are standing and then they go to dribble and their foot moves slightly to the back, we're gonna call that traveling. It's gonna happen 7 times a game, and no one's gonna understand why we're even calling that. That's our big change.
See, I don't want to see any more of this.
Do you want to see, like...
This look is perfect, by the way. Tucker's... Anyway.
Wait, what are you looking at?
Yeah. Are you looking at the Zoom window?
No, I wasn't looking at the Zoom window.
Okay.
Oh. What the hell?
It's Booker flopping and Tucker saying, really?
Not helpful for an audio like.
Yeah,
substitute.
sorry.
So here's what drives me crazy is that was game one. So Phoenix won game one, 118-105. Was game one decided by the refs?
I don't think so. I mean, like we said, Holiday and Middleton didn't really play well, and Giannis played well, but he didn't. He scored 19 points. It's good, but like
he obviously he's not 100%, but he's not 100%. But he did some things like he had that great chase down block. He had one point where he was basically under the basket and just kind of just shoved Ayton out of the way and dunked. In some ways, he looked kind of, and it's amazing that he's back. But in some ways, I kind of he looked pretty healthy to give you so little. Like he got a ton of rebounds, got 17 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
But Giannis has to take over the goddamn game. I don't know why they weren't feeding him the ball more. I don't know why. He didn't seem like he had a problem down low.
The problem is Ayton is better than Capella, and Giannis has no outside game, like none.
But Giannis was still scoring on him. I don't know. They need to figure out. I don't know. If Giannis is hurt and that's why he didn't play as well as he could have the entire time out there, put him out there for less minutes, then just want more of him for the less minutes, give him more rest. I don't know. The Bucks almost looked in some ways better the last two games against Atlanta when they didn't have him on the floor because they played more of a team game. And the team game thing was gone, and Giannis didn't really take over either. I wanted more from Giannis.
I think Phoenix is better on defense than they get credit for.
No, Phoenix is an excellent defensive team.
Yeah.
Both them and the Bucks are great defensive teams.
I mean, Bridges would have been really nice to.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We
got
it would have been
Knox,
nice to
though.
trade for Devin. Nice to trade KP for Devin Booker. Things. There are a lot of things that would have been nice. So anyway, the Suns shot 10 more free throws than the Bucks did. And also, obviously, they know how to make a free throw where the Bucks can't, especially John can't shoot a goddamn free throw.
Did they make that NBA record? I turned the game off when they were 24 for 24, which
They went 25 for 26.
Oh, so they missed one.
Crowder missed one near the end of the game.
They almost had. So the NBA record in the finals without missing a free throw was 21 for 21. And at one point they were 24 for 24. But Crowder ruined it.
They were goddamn amazing. They great free throw shooters. I don't know. You know what I find annoying is that a foul will happen, and then you're like, I want to see the replay of what the foul was. Instead, they do a replay of a play or two before where someone did something kind of cool, and you're like, and the announcers, the commentators don't even talk about the goddamn foul. I'm like, was that a foul? I couldn't rewind because I was watching live last night, and I'm like, was that a foul? Was that a foul? Because I never see the goddamn fouls, but they're called. Sometimes you do, but a lot of times you're like, where was the foul?
Well, you don't see the foul when they're called a lot because they call a lot of touch fouls or even
made-up fouls, complete bullshit fouls.
I feel like a lot of times the ref call what they think is going to be a foul, like a preemptive whistle, and it's not even. Sometimes there's no contact, but they're like, of course he's going to foul in that situation. They just call it, and it's like, you should actually have to see the foul to blow the whistle.
I just don't think there should be a 10 foul difference in the game. That just makes the refs are stepping in too much in the game.
Well, we've been through this. I think there should be just less foul calls in general altogether. Touch fouls should not be a thing. And
especially in the goddamn finals.
Also, let's just not do instant replay.
So here's one thing. Simmons, Bill Simmons on his podcast, he had one idea that I thought was actually a really good idea. And it's a simple thing. They when they're they call way too many flagrant fouls, right?
Yeah.
You agree on that?
Yeah.
But anyway, when it's a flagrant one, they're reviewing the play to figure out if the flagrant one. Here's his idea is, if you think it might be a flagrant one, give the person a regular foul call, and then during the TV timeout or during the commercials, just figure out whether it was a flagrant one. If it was a flagrant one, give the extra shot.
Here's my idea.
Just don't do it while we're watching the game.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. That saves time. Here's my idea.
Don't have replay?
block charge. If instantly you can't tell through the instant replay in slow motion if it was a block or a charge, it's a block, because that means it was that close. In full speed, the offensive player could not possibly have reacted. And also, if you can't tell in slow motion, that means the defensive player wasn't set long enough.
Actually, so Simmons
so it's a block.
actually had a pretty good idea here as well. And this basically this would apply to those situations, block or charge, and out of bounds calls. If you can't tell really fast, just have a possession arrow. Just like college, back and forth, it just flips like whoever's on the possession arrow.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a no call too. I feel like it's dangerous to jump in front of a guy running at full speed.
I do agree.
If you're not set, it should be a block.
Well, I guess like as far as figuring out who the ball was off out of bounds, a possession arrow would just beat the instant replay.
It should be more. Bring in like almost street ball rules. Like if I'm playing with you in the driveway and I'm going for a layup and you just jump in front of me and fall backwards, I'm going to be like, fuck you, it's my ball. That's the way it should be.
Here's an idea. Make it real street ball rules with refs in the sense of you have to call your own fouls. And the ref can just confirm or deny your foul. And if you call 3 bullshit fouls, you get fouled. Or 2 bullshit fouls, you get fouled.
2 bullshit calls, you get a tech?
Yeah, something like that.
So 4 bullshit calls and you're just out of the game. I like it.
Yeah, I just also, it would be great to see like Chris Paul or anyone flop into someone and go foul, and has to say it to Giannis's face or Milton's face, and they'll be like, "You fucking kidding me? You're really calling that shit?"
Mm-hmm.
Like just like not have a ref say it for him, but Chris Paul has to call his own bullshit. He'd be like, "Yeah, you jumped into me. This is absurd."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I thought that was, and I thought whatever. Okay, the foul calls. Phoenix is just a deeper team, which makes a big difference. By the way, Sark is out for the.
Sark tore his ACL.
For like a year probably.
Phoenix, the only healthy team throughout the playoffs, gets their first injury in the finals, which kind of bad timing, but I guess
the guy that doesn't really need to play for them anyway.
I mean, Saric plays 10, 15 minutes.
They don't need him. It's fine.
You're going to have Kaminsky playing those minutes, and is Kaminsky that much worse than Saric? Probably not.
I mean, you could probably get away without playing either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have enough. They have like Cameron Payne and Cameron Johnson are both solid guys off the bench. Torrey Craig is solid. Not that like they're deep enough for the series.
Yeah.
Ayton's a monster. He's awesome. Devin Booker wasn't that awesome last night.
No, Devin Booker's been, ever since he broke his nose, he's been like very hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot of free throws, but he wasn't like awesome outside. Like outside of him getting the free throws, he wasn't that awesome. And Crowder did almost nothing on offense, though. On defense, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So why did the Bucks lose?
Why the Bucks lose? Two of their best players didn't play great. They're not. Honestly, this may seem like a first take, hot take thing. Is Dante's injury?
DiVincenzo?
Yeah, is that bigger than people are giving it credit for?
I mean, he was a starter for them. He was a good shooter. It's a big deal. Yeah.
Because I mean, his injury.
It's a bigger deal if Giannis was injured, like broke his leg the other day. Like that was probably a bigger deal.
Because it changes the whole lineup. Because you have him injured, and now all of a sudden you're starting PJ Tucker, and you're playing Jeff Teague, who probably shouldn't be getting minutes at this point. And maybe you're playing Connaughton like more minutes than you want to. Like I don't know. I just think it's not like losing Giannis, but it's affecting the series.
No, it does. Why did the Bucks allow Chris Paul and Devin Booker to switch at will on Brook Lopez, but they couldn't do the same thing? like, wouldn't you want to switch Giannis on Chris Paul or like or on Devin? Wouldn't you want to try to find favorable matchups? Like the Suns seem to be able to find favorable matchups on their end. Like a couple plays in a row, I'm like, why the hell? Like, why is Lopez keeping on an island trying to guard these guys?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like so the Bucks start off looking like garbage every series, and you're like, they're just gonna lose in 5.
Right.
And I feel like they do make adjustments, but it takes them till like game 3 or 4 to make those adjustments.
Well, they went small late in the game and made a run. But yeah, I mean, they have to adjust by game 2. Like, you can't go down 2-0.
Yeah. By the way, what did you think of Cam Reddish in the Hawks-Bucks series?
I think he had one decent game, but he sucks. Why?
I don't know. I just feel like the Hawks were like, they kept getting injuries and they kept having people out, and then like people just kept coming off the bench and like producing, and it's like, how many guys are on this team? Like they have like 4 injuries, and now like Cam Reddish comes out of nowhere and scores 20 points. It's like,
Well, the Hawks had a bunch of draft picks, and they used them. I mean, like,
wait, they didn't trade them all for one player?
No. Yeah.
Huh.
They had a bunch of draft picks, and they also like. I mean, I don't think Reddish is all that great. But they used their draft picks better than the Knicks, who like waste picks on guys like Kevin Knox and like Frank Ntilikina. Those guys are bad picks that will not contribute. Cam Reddish, people think he has some value. He's not a good shooter. He's 2 years in the league. He's shown to be not a good shooter. Maybe he'll develop. I don't care. Like, we don't need Cam Reddish in our team. He had one good game. I don't know.
I haven't watched a lot of Hawks this season, so I just saw Cam Reddish come off the bench and score 20 points, and I'm like, where was this? It's like,
right. The Knicks have no one that'll come off. The Knicks are just not that deep of a. The problem is, like, it feels like the Knicks have been bad before this year for a goddamn century, but they really didn't accumulate much during that time period.
right.
They almost got good a little too early wasted too many draft picks along the way.
Yeah, so back to the whole trading for Lillard and giving up a bunch of assets. And
It's not on the table on Portland's side, so it's so stupid.
just hypothetically, let's just say tomorrow, because Knicks news usually happens the day after we record.
Fine. Why don't we just read like, hi Jay. I work in the office of the Trailblazers. They told me I'm the one that has to call and get this pathetic offer, and then we'll hang up and laugh about it here in Portland.
Okay.
What do you got for us?
Okay, so I'm gonna offer you Mitchell Robinson.
I want the entire team. Every draft pick you'll ever have the rest of the time.
Right. So let's reel that back in a little bit.
Okay. I assume that the last guy I called him in this office, this number just said yes to everything.
Yeah. Well, it's a new regime, so we're not.
Okay. Oh, you guys got like, come on. I can't be the one person to make a normal trade with you. But go on.
Yeah, that is also a problem. Everyone's like, well, we've been ripping off the Knicks for 3 decades. You can't stop all of a sudden, but trying to. So Mitch Robinson, you could have your pick of anybody except Randall and RJ. And we'll throw in 2 firsts and a pick swap.
Okay. Drew Holiday got 3 firsts and 2 pick swaps. So that is the bare minimum I'd accept before we start talking about the players.
Yeah, but that was a mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I want RJ. I don't want Randall. I'll take RJ, and I will take Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, I'll take those guys.
Mm-hmm. So that doesn't really work.
Okay, fine. I'll make it an extra. We'll throw in an extra first rounder from you.
You want me to throw in another first rounder?
Well, you keep your try. Like, why are we on the phone this long? Find another one. That's 2 extra.
All right. Goodbye. See, that's the thing. if you have Lillard and you don't have
Yes, I
Mitch and
understand. We
RJ,
all understand the Carmelo theory that you cannot trade a full team for a player and have it work out well. Damian Lillard is an awesome, awesome player, but you have to have players around him. But whatever, it's not going to trade's not even on the table, and there's nothing that we're going to offer that's going to make sense. The only way the trade works, if you want to keep everyone, is giving a boatload of first rounders. Are you going to give 3 first and 2 pick swaps for him?
well, here's
Forgetting
the
the
thing.
players, forget the players.
Yeah, yeah.
Just will you do a trade that involves 3 first and 2 pick swaps?
For Lillard,
Yes.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Okay, then why are we having this conversation?
He's over 30.
Dame Lillard is goddamn awesome. We're not one piece away. We're pretty far away still. He'd be an awesome addition to the team.
What people are forgetting.
Besides, Milwaukee's on the phone with me and they're offering me Giannis for Dame Lillard. That I do.
So
I still think I said this in the show. I still think that if you're the Bucks, why would you not trade Giannis for Dame if that offer was on the table? That is a better team than this team.
age.
But it doesn't matter. You have a window. Everyone has windows. That's it.
So, but
Would you rather spend the next 4 years with Dame or Giannis on the Bucks? I think Dame. You add Dame to this team, they are better than the current team.
if you didn't have Drew, I would say so. But like, your front court is super thin now. If you get rid of Giannis, what are you starting Bobby Portis and trying to win a championship?
I don't know. You got Dame like shooting the lights out from like 40 feet away. I'm fine with that. We got Brook Lopez. We got Middleton. We'll figure it out. We can bring some other vets.
I don't know. I don't like the fit. Unless you trade.
I like the fit better than Giannis next to Brook Lopez.
Okay. I mean, I'm just okay. My point is, say you even get somebody like Lillard, does that put the Knicks in the top 5?
If you have, let's just say you only trade draft picks, and so you make the team Dame plus Randall plus RJ, Mitchell Robinson, whoever else on the team. Is that your question?
I mean, you're going to have to give up.
We're top 4. Of course, we were top 4 this year without him. But
Are they though? Like the Hawks
we're
are.
more of a contender. Yes, we're more of a contender. That is in the right direction.
The Hawks are going to be way better next year. Hunter was out for a good portion of the season. Maybe Reddish is decent. He was out for a lot.
You just told me they're going to stop calling all the fouls Trey likes.
True, but
Dame would be a gigantic upgrade in this team. But
he would, but I don't think it gets it.
I'm not doing 5 first rounders or 3 first rounders and 2 pick swaps, and that is the minimum to do this trade. So it's pointless to have this conversation.
Okay.
I just think like we can talk about the death. The Knicks, you're right. Dame is not putting them over the top. They're not better than the Nets if they get Dame. But they'd be a pretty gosh darn good team. What the Knicks really need now is they need RJ to take another step up. They need Randall to play at least as good as he played this year. They need IQ to take a step up the way RJ did this year.
Mm-hmm.
They need guys to get better.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you add a guy like Dame and he fast-tracked everything, but I don't know. I don't know. Is there a right way to get from how good the Knicks are now to the finals?
There's a way, but I don't think it's gutting all the young guys.
But
for
what's the
one
way?
day.
I have no idea. It's a very complex problem.
They're gonna have to nail a draft pick and make some smaller moves. I think they're gonna have to get they have to get 1 or 2 more pieces. Look at the teams that are in the finals. They're 9-10 deep. The Knicks,
The Bucks and the Suns are both not 9 or 10 deep. They both seem like they're like 7 players each.
really?
They're not really deep teams. Really, like the Bucks have 5 guys, and then there's Portis and Connaughton. Forbes is barely playable. Teague.
Forbes is one of the best 3-point shooters for the regular season.
Yeah, he hasn't been that good in the playoffs.
Right, but in theory, like Forbes is a player.
I'm not saying these guys have no one on this team. They're both obviously very good teams. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be 10 guys deep. I don't know. The Knicks, it is a really complicated problem to get from where they are to a lot better. You need more players. You need to nail more draft picks going forward. And you need to, like, really nail a draft pick. You need to do, like, a Devin Booker level nail, where you get a guy who's drafted 13th to 14th and have him be a goddamn all-star. They need at least another all-star, if not two. I don't know how to get to the finals.
Okay.
I mean, that's why people say, like, we should have tanked, because, like, as good as they are, we need another, like, we need a superstar. And I don't know how to get a superstar.
True.
It's a superstar league, so the Knicks next year, playoff team, yes. You know, so the Knicks, here's what the Knicks are going to do. They're going to sign Kyle Lowry. What does that do?
Adds like 2 wins.
Might add some playoff wins.
Super excited. You just talked me out of the entirety of next season.
No, I'm just saying the Knicks. I don't know. You sign Kyle Lowry. He wants to get paid. The Knicks will pay him. Do you sign Lonzo Ball, who maybe Lonzo's a lot younger than Kyle Lowry. Lowry will probably be better than Lonzo Ball next season. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Lonzo Ball gets better. You're making a big bet on Lonzo Ball getting better. Because, like, you're not giving a big contract to Lonzo Ball expecting him to be as good as he's been. You want a better player than he is now.
Yeah.
Or do you go for a guy like Norm Powell, get a guy shooting guard that can shoot? Like, maybe, like, really look in the G League and find, like, some more diamonds in the rough the way the Raptors always do? You gotta find some other players. The roster also has to be guys that, like, you can't have all these dead spots on the roster. I mean, Knicks had a lot of just dead spots on the roster. Guys that just, like, were there for no good reason. They were not going to play. Like, Iggy was not going to play a regular season game, was just on the roster for no good reason. You need to use your roster spots more effectively. Has to be guys that are going to play games and have potential to actually, like, make you better. You can't give out guys to... Who was that point guard they had on the bench who never played?
The one from the G League?
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
I mean, I could look it up, but whatever. Like, they have guys on the roster where, like, they're never going to... I know you're 11 to 15 will have to be great, but, like, I don't know. The Knicks should be constantly trying to find guys 11 to 15 who could be, like, a 6 through 10 for you.
Yeah.
They have to get guys that are... You have to keep building and not just go, like, well, we have some other guys on the roster that just... We have to have more guys on the roster. We're not going to do anything with them, and... I don't know. The Knicks can't have... If a guy's not you're not going to play this guy. And Obi Toppin, be nice if he got better.
It would be very nice if he got better. I don't know if he will, but it has to happen.
That guy Luca Vildoza, well, I'm going to assume he probably will be on the team. He's a point guard. Maybe he'll be a contributor.
I'm kind of excited about him, actually.
You are?
A little bit. Yeah. Been seeing some videos.
Jared Harper, Theo Pinson. Guys on the roster for no good reason whatsoever. Kevin Knox was really on the roster for no good reason either. He just didn't contribute anything. And I know he'll be back, and you don't want to give up on him just yet. He's a waste. He's almost a waste of a roster spot. I mean, Alfred Payton was kind of a waste of a roster spot also. Even though he was your starting point guard most of the year.
Do we have...
I was going to say, so it's great if you have 3 All-Stars. But I guess as far as depth, what if you just have 10 above average players? How far does that take you?
I think it takes you pretty far. I think you'll be the Hawks at least.
Or better. I mean, you could be like, if you just have a pretty good, like, good basketball team, maybe that take like team ball. Maybe that makes a big difference.
And they said Theo Pinson for no reason, the disrespect.
I know Theo Pinson himself is a big time listener of the show. I hope you'll keep listening, even though I still think you were a complete waste of space on the roster. Sorry, Theo.
I also want to thank Matthew Robert we just got rated. I don't know what a rate is, but on Twitch we got rated. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anything you guys can do to make Jay happy, please. Jay just needs happiness in his
I'm
life.
a very depressed, sad man. I need to be happy. So yes, thank you. He's a Twitch streamer and he does a lot of gaming stuff. So
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah.
Check out his Twitch. What is his handle so people can find him?
One Matthew Robert with one T. Matthew Robert.
Okay, cool.
And yeah.
The Knicks have a roster to fill out. I would like them to find 10 guys who are above average on the team. That would be a huge way to go forward, which in my mind means building slowly, drafting players, hoping those players end up being better, and kind of trying to maybe find guys in free agency, but not necessarily going for home runs in free agency.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they made the 4th seed, but I feel like there's still a lot of moves to be made.
Right. There's a big gap between 3 and 4.
I think there's a big gap between 4 and 5 because I think the next season, without all the injuries, I think the Knicks are 5, like clearly.
Probably. The Hawks have jumped them. The Hawks look very good. Facebook, Anthony writes, media says New York don't got time to develop that as the Yankees do. We need to buy talent. What do you expect from the front office this offseason? It looks like we jumped 2 to 3 years of process this year, being 4th in the East. Do we need to go for the big free agent or trade now?
I don't think so. I think they're too far away to make that big move right now.
Well, I think baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so you could always, as the Yankees, spend more money. The Knicks are locked in. You can only everyone can spend the exact same amount of money, so money's not as big a factor. There aren't any big names that really will make a huge difference at the moment. Is it a problem? Hey, Jay, is it a problem the Knicks jumped 2 to 3 years of process?
No,
Is it a problem they weren't bad for 2 more years and accumulated more draft picks?
It's unfortunate, but I mean, they messed up so many draft picks. That's their fault.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fortunate and unfortunate because you don't want to be bad. Like, it's great to be good. It's just now the expectations are higher.
Yeah.
Patrick writes, interested in Dennis Schroeder?
I was until I saw him in the playoffs.
I don't get, like, he's a solid 6 man and he wants, like, first string money.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I don't see he's not that young. Was he 29?
Yeah. He's older than I thought, too.
Let's see how old this actually is. He's 27. He's actually a little younger than I said. And he was the Hawks point guard before Trey. He's a fine player. He's not that efficient. I don't know. I nothing about Schroeder besides like this guy. This is not a game changer in any regard that I want to throw big money at.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd rather throw bigger money at Lonzo Ball or Norm Powell, someone that has like at least some more potential.
Yeah.
Maybe Lonzo, I guess. I don't know. It's a really complicated. I mean, let's look at the two teams we have here in the finals. Milwaukee is good because they drafted Giannis in the middle of the first round, which is like the 14th pick, and got freaking lucky as hell. And then, like, where was Milton? Where did they get Milton from?
Milton wasn't a super high pick either.
Because he's a very good player. He's not quite he's a borderline all-star. Where did they get him in the draft? They got him. Oh, wow. Second round, 39th pick in the draft. So that's the Knicks have to do. So basically, one of the teams in the finals, their second best player was a second round pick who's now a borderline all-star. The Knicks, on the other hand, said, we don't need a second round pick. We'll just punt this for a few years because it's hard to find room in this roster.
Right.
Yeah. So, do you still think it was not and I guess not an epic mistake, do you still think it was, what do you think about the fact that the Knicks punted on the second round pick this past year?
I'd rather them not. I mean, Connaughton was also a second round pick.
Yeah. A lot of good players end up being second round picks.
Yeah.
Kind of a dumb move, right? To punt on a second round pick. But you know what? You know what? Theo Pinson needed a roster spot.
Well, he got it.
Jared Harper needed a roster. You were wasting roster spots and you couldn't draft a new player?
No, No, couldn't be done.
Kevin Knox is a bust, wasting a roster spot, but you couldn't goddamn give like you have so many guys wasting roster spots, and you couldn't goddamn take a second round pick. And I know at the time, and I'm still angry about it and just being stupid about it. But I don't know. The Knicks. So I think as far as the team, one of the big steps also use your draft picks better, and use the G League how it's supposed to be to develop players.
Wait, you want them to actually utilize all the assets at their disposal?
Yeah, you're right. That is crazy. I don't know why they don't use the G League. When's the last guy they developed in the G League?
It'll be the first guy.
I mean, I guess was Galloway developed in the G League for when he was briefly on the Knicks?
I don't think so.
No, I mean they got him in the G League, right? He was originally in the G League before he came to the team.
I mean, I don't know if he developed in there.
It doesn't really matter. The Knicks are not utilizing the G League. That would be one of the paths. To you have to figure out how to get this team better without just going well, every year we just pray for a superstar, and that's our strategy.
Yeah. All right.
Jay, will you do it with me? Just hold my hands. Okay, we're holding hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that God will give us a superstar. There's no other way to get better. We can't use the G League to develop players or draft better players or sign guys who have some potential. We just need to wait till we're blessed by superstars. If we need to trade our whole roster for a superstar, it will work out. Please, God, let us have a superstar.
So say we all.
You're supposed to say amen. You screwed it up, Jay.
That was Battlestar Galactica. Sorry.
Oh, what was it?
That was Battlestar Galactica, not church.
Yeah.
Or they could just play Frank a lot more because apparently he's the next coming of basketball Jesus.
Did he play well for France or something recently?
Yeah, he got a layup in a scrimmage in the French game, and then Nick's Twitter blew up. Oh my God, he got a basket. He's the greatest player.
Yeah. He will not be on the Knicks next season, so I don't think we have to worry about him. So coming up June, I think July 29th is the NBA draft. The Knicks will have 2 first-round draft picks, which they'll probably punt. They'll probably we don't need that. The roster is perfect. We have Theo Pinson. We don't have room for a first-round draft pick. Or they'll probably draft 2 guys to be Obi Toppin's backup, so we can have a backup to the backup to the backup, starting power forward. The Knicks could just use draft picks better.
Yeah. All right, so we will probably take a week
back
off.
for the draft.
Yeah, we'll be back for the draft. You can check out our other show, The Brink of Sanity. We do a comedy show. We're going to be doing more of that during the off season. And you can follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. And we will be doing...
What is your prediction for the rest of the series?
For the rest of the series, I think Suns in 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would rather the Bucks win, but I think Suns in 6.
You're more of a Bobby Portis fan than a Langston Galloway fan?
I was rooting for the Suns, and then Chris Paul flopped just one too many times, and I'm like, you know what? I can't root for somebody who flops that much. I don't want to. I root for the team with the least amount of flopping and the least amount of forced trade superstar super teams.
Yeah, but the Suns don't really have nothing forced there.
No, there was nothing forced in these 2 final teams. I'm just saying I wasn't rooting for, the Nets and the Lakers and all that crap.
I think generally I'm rooting for the team that's down. I just want to see a long series and a good game.
Yeah.
Do you think this is Bill Simmons said the winner of this will be the worst final winner maybe ever. What do you think of that? And are we out of time, Jay?
We're getting close.
Okay, let's bring up this last topic. This is Simmons said it'll be one of the worst, if not the worst, NBA champions ever, because really both teams would not even be in the finals if their respective divisions, if everyone was healthy.
I mean, I think you could say that about a lot of teams, a lot of years. There's always an injury where somebody gets past an injured team. I would say it's definitely up there, though. It's definitely up there because these teams are both kind of flawed. But Phoenix with the 2 seed and the Bucks with the 3 seed. It's not like
Not crazy.
Yeah, it's not like we got these like super lucky. I mean, Phoenix was lucky with the teams they played as far as who was injured, but like they were still a 2 seed and
Right.
dominating through the season.
Lakers are healthy. Like Anthony Davis is healthy. I think they had a pretty good chance of beating them.
They might still lose
But who
that
knows?
series.
They might have still lost.
They were pretty thin after those two.
If Denver has Jamal Murray, maybe they're in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 major ones on that side, and Milwaukee, really the Nets are the major ones.
Yeah, but
I mean,
like
the Hawks weren't exactly healthy.
expecting the Nets to be healthy is like, did you really expect Kyrie to not get injured in the playoffs?
Okay, well, if Hawks don't lose DeAndre Hunter and Trey doesn't get injured, if Trey doesn't step on the ref's foot,
We would probably have the Hawks if they had Hunter and a full strength Trey. I think they're in the finals. I really do.
yeah.
Which is why I say the Knicks are 5th next year because the Hawks are clearly better than their seed this year.
If Ben Simmons doesn't develop a fear of shooting in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. What did we learn today, Jay?
not much.
I think I learned that Jay really, really wants the Knicks to go all in to trade the entire roster for Damian Lillard. He thinks if the Knicks get Damian Lillard and they have nothing else on the roster, they're guaranteed to win the title. Jay is all in on this trade.
I am definitely all in on the refs enforcing the anti-flop rules next season.
That would be amazing. But the thing is, flopping is not exactly new. Why would the NBA finally figure this out?
I don't know.
All I'm saying is if you jump into a player at a 45-degree angle, it's that guy's fault for being within your 45-degree angle.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Stick around in the chat, and we will be back. Maybe not next week, but
well, not next week, but we'll be back around free agency and the draft.
yeah, there'll be plenty to talk about for that. So
Jay will be very excited to see the giant contract the Knicks have given out to a player.
I can't wait to see how they ruin all their cap space for the next 4 years and what assets they give up for what aging star. I can't wait. Can't wait. So stay tuned.
Mike Conley, max contract.
Oh God, there'll be a lot of rum that episode.
What do you think about 4 years, $100 million to Kelly Oubre?
I feel like that's the one that's actually going to happen.
Knicks go all in to get Timmy Hardaway back.
Barf.
Kelly Oubre on the Knicks. It's gonna happen, Jay. Way too much money.
My love.